All right. Chapter 15, this faculty, I say, of thinking and speaking, this power of eloquence, the ancient Greeks denominated wisdom. Hence, the liturgy, the patici, the salons, and compared with them, the Curanansi, Fabrici, Catos, Scipios were perhaps not so learned, but were certainly of a like force and inclination of mind. Others of equal ability, but of dissimilar affection towards the pursuits of life, preferred ease and retirement, as Pythagoras, Democritus, Anaxagoras, and transferred their attention entirely from civil polity to the contemplation of nature, a mode of life which, on account of its tranquility and the pleasure derived from science, than which nothing is more delightful to mankind, attracted a greater number than was of advantage to public concerns. Accordingly, as men of the most excellent natural talents gave themselves up to that study in the enjoyment of the greatest abundance of free and unoccupied time, so men of the greatest learning, blessed with excess of leisure and virility of thought, imagined it their duty to make more things than were really necessary the objects of their attention. Investigation, and inquiry. That ancient learning, indeed, appears to have been at the same time the precipice, yeah, precipitress, preceptress of living. Precipice. It's not precipice, it's preceptress of living rightly and of speaking well. Nor were there separate masters for those subjects, but the same teachers formed the morals and the language. As Phoenix in Homer, who says that he was appointed a companion in war to the young Achilles by his father Peleus, to make him an orator in words and a hero in deeds. But as men accustomed to constant and daily employment, when they are hindered from their occupation by the weather, betake themselves to play at ball or dice or draughts, or even invent some new game of their own to amuse their leisure. So they, being either excluded from public employments as from business by the state of the times, or being idle from inclination, gave themselves up wholly, some to the poets, some to the geometers, some to music, others, even as the logicians, found out a new study and exercise for themselves, and consumed their whole time and exercise for themselves. Damn it. Their whole time and lives in those arts which have been discovered to form the minds of youth to learning and to virtue. No, I'm not going to redo it. Thought about redoing it. I'm not going to redo it. I'll leave that in there. 16. But because there was some, and those not a few, who either were eminent in public affairs through their twofold excellence in acting and speaking excellences, which are indeed inseparable, as Themistocles, Pericles, Theracanes, or who, though they were not employed themselves in public affairs, were teachers of others in that science, as Gorgias, Thrasymachus, Isocrates. There appeared others who, being themselves men of abundant learning and ingenuity, but averse to political business and employments, derided and despised the exercise of oratory, at the head of which party was Socrates. He who, by the testimony of all the learned and the judgment of all Greece, was the first of all men, as well in wisdom and penetration, grace and refinement, as in eloquence, variety, and copiousness of language on whatever subject he took in hand, deprived of their common name, those who handled, treated, and gave instruction in those matters which are the objects of our present inquiry, when they were previously comprised under one appellation, as all knowledge in the best arts and sciences, and all exercise in them, was denominated philosophy. And he separated in his discussions the ability of thinking wisely and speaking gracefully, though they are naturally united. Socrates, I say, fully, though no, whose great genius and varied conversation Plato has in his dialogues consigned to immortality, he himself having left us nothing in writing. Hence arose that divorce, as it were, of the tongue from the heart, a division certainly absurd, useless, and reprehensible, that one class of persons should teach us to think and another to speak rightly, for as many reasoners had their origin almost from Socrates, and they caught up some one thing, some another, from the disputations, which were various, diversified, and diffusive upon all subjects. Many sects, as it were, became propagated, dissenting one from another, and much divided and very dissimilar in opinions, though all the philosophers wished to be called and thought that they were Socratics.